What's happening, HC Nation? Zach is here for another Stump the Creator. This is the final day of Simeon's emails, or mammoth email. Hopefully we can get through all of them. We have questions 7 through 11, so it's going to be a lot. So let's get started. And this is a follow-up from last time we met. I gave you the question, but I didn't answer it, so I just recorded this right afterwards. So this is what it says. Can you think of a way in which you can win without destroying your opponent's land with one card in the third round? So Charles Babbage would be the first one to think of when destroy any cards. It basically increase your morale until you hit enough to get there. Let's see, George Washington Carver is another one I can see. Double the ability of any black character. So that's not enough to win in the third round. Okay, it says, play William Wilberforth, which is not out yet. So, yeah, if it's not out yet, it doesn't really apply exactly. Play Wilberforth to pull out Harriet Tubman and Prince Estabrook to pull out Amos Fortune. The three cards you swap with are George Washington Carver, Sir Walter Scott, and Charles Babbage. Sir Walter Scott pulls out the U.S. House of Representatives. Sir Walter Scott. Sir Walter Scott is in... No. Sir Walter Scott No, he's not a... he's not a politician. Is he a leader? Sir Walter Scott. He's an author. Author. Sir Walter Scott. Yes, Sir Walter Scott. Okay. He may enter your deck and pull out any non-character card and play it immediately. Okay, so it says Sir Walter Scott pulls out the U.S. House of Representatives. House of Representatives. Check that one out. House of Representatives. If your opponent's morale falls below 0 for 2 rounds, you win. That's true. Okay, so it's only if you have one player. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Then Carver doubles Amos to swap Alessandro Volta, Leland Stanford, Andrew Carnegie. Okay. Carver. I don't think he did that. Let me see. Whoa! Okay, these are the ones out of my desk. George, okay, so it says choose double the abilities of any one black character or nullify the effects of any one opponent's cards. Here it says then Carver doubles Amos to swap Alessandro Volta. He can only double him if he hasn't used him yet. So you want to double him when he's first being used. Because if you use the ability and it's a one time, you don't get to double or use it again a second time. Just because it says double, it has to be on the same time that you use that card. Okay, unless it's a hold. Because then you can use it any time. Then you can double it and then use it. Let's see, pull out Sir Walter Scott, Carver, and Lester Gillis. Scott pulls out the Great Depression and Nelson decreases morale. In total, their morale has decreased by 1,900 and are at 1,000 morale. Okay, assuming they started at 2,900 morale. Carver doubles Amos and is used to pull out Volta and Andrew, but leaves Scott out. Double Scott with Volta to pull out Black Plague and use. Andrew to double Malleus Caleficarum that makes them at negative 700 morale. On their turn, play Bombing of Hamburg to end their turn. Until the next turn, that opponent would do this turn. Oh, okay. So Simeon, if we're going to be completely to the question, you said, can you think of a way in which you can win without destroying an opponent's land with one card in the third round? So your opponent would not have gone to negative until the third round. It has to be negative for 2 rounds to lose. So if it's in there, it cannot be on the third round. It has to be the 4th round. And it has to be negative for the 4th round, the whole 4th round as well. So on the 5th, you'd be able to claim that ability. So no, this does not apply because of that. It also doesn't apply because you're not playing one card. Do you think there's a way in which you can win without destroying your opponent's land with one card in the third round? So if I'm reading this correctly, can you think of a way of winning with one card without this destroying of an opponent's land with one card in the third round? So does that mean a way of winning just with one card in the opponent's round? So, yeah, there's questions there. Because you use multiple cards. But you also said, let's do it in the third round. Well, you wouldn't win in the third round just because it was negative. So, because here you, in total, their morale has decreased by 1,900 points and are at 1,000 morale. This assumes they start at 2,900 morale. Now, why would they start at 2,900 morale? Because they couldn't get that in the first 2 rounds. Carver doubles Amos, Plague, Andrew to double Malleus Caleficarum. That makes them at negative 700 morale. On their turn, play Bombing of Hamburg to end their turn. Until the next round and next turn, that opponent would do his turn. Play Frank Lloyd Wright to pull Lost Among the Pharaohs to end their turn again. Then you win. So you didn't keep it all in the third round. This would be the 4th round at least. Also, I could do something. I could play a Harriet Tubman, and nothing like this applies. I could play Harriet Tubman in the end of my turn on the 2nd round, because hers lasts the whole round until it hits me again. You wouldn't be able to do anything on your turn. So there are ways of overcoming this. So you'd have to play it just right if you were to win that. But again, like in your question, the question doesn't apply because this says the 3rd round and you're at least going to the 4th round. Now, number 8, suppose everyone is at 2,900 morale and I have Caesar Rodney out. If I play Apollo program and use the 2nd power, I can legitimately argue that everyone gets the morale instead of just me. Apollo program. Why are they always on the backside? I thought I saw them here. Nope. It's on the backside. Okay, give me a second. Let me go grab out the Apollo program. That would be right. Okay, I've seen it. It is here. But where did I see it? Is it staring me right in the face? Is it out here somewhere I'm not looking at? Apollo program. No. There it is. Right there. Choose. Your people are inspired for the next 3 turns. You may have 6 cards in your hand or increase 100 morale per turn. Okay, so he's legitimately trying to argue that everyone else gets the points. Okay, so let's see. Suppose everyone is at 2,900 morale and I have a Caesar Rodney out. If I play the Apollo program and use the 2nd power, I can legitimately argue that everyone gets the morale instead of just me. So in this case, it's an actual tie when everyone gets their morale at the same time, exact same time. But I was wondering if I could win the amount of players playing. If I could win the amount of players playing, because I caused them to win, not themselves. But I was wondering if I would win the amount of players playing, because I caused them to win, not themselves. Also, I don't understand that part. So, Simeon, I need that clarification on that one. Also, can an opponent stop the event because it isn't played against them? Like the Maximilien Robespierre says, but for them. Maximilien Robespierre. He is a politician. Maximilien Robespierre. Force one opponent to discard all kings, queens, and Catholic characters. Discard Robespierre after 3 turns. Is that a 1.0 card? Like what Maximilien Robespierre says, but for them. Force one opponent to discard all kings, queens, and Catholic characters. Discard Robespierre in 3 turns. Maybe he was talking about number 1.0. This one says, through his leadership, stop the effects of any one event card played against him. Okay, so he's talking about 1.0. Also, can an opponent stop the event because it isn't played against them? Like what Robespierre says, but for them. Okay, they could stop it. Sure. Okay, I'm not getting this. This should be a conversation more than question, because it's leading me down a road and I'm trying to figure out how to answer it. Does Alan Pinkerton stop 1.0 Napoleon Bonaparte? Adam Carnegie. Alan Pinkerton is a lawmaker. Alan Pinkerton. You stop spies, assassins, any other attempt to look in your hand or assassinate a character. Oh, that's what Bethany meant so many weeks ago. It was 1.0 card. Okay, so that's what I was missing before. So, well, he didn't assassinate a character. He basically called it. Jesse James never really assassinated people. He went after them face to face. He'd shoot him. So, Bethany, to answer your question, no, Alan Pinkerton does not stop him because he's not an assassin. But it doesn't say assassin as an A, capital A. But he doesn't secretly kill them. Jesse James does it to their face or even in their back, but he did it out in the public. Does Alan Pinkerton stop 1.0 Napoleon Bonaparte? Okay, Napoleon says, if you win your first attack, you can take a card of your choice from your opponent's hand. Alan Pinkerton. Why would it stop him? Stops assassins, spies, or any other attempts to look at your hand or assassinate a character. Napoleon, if you win your first attack, you can take a card of your choice from your opponent's hand. Well, it just means wait. No, this one it says look. It does not say take. So I mean, if you can't look at it because of Alan, you can at least give it to them in like putting extra cards and letting them guess which one they want to choose. They don't get to choose them though because they can't see which ones they have. So he does not stop Napoleon because you're not, the part of Napoleon is not to look at them, it's just to take them. So again, you might want to do it in a way that you can't look at it, but you can still take them. Okay, number 10. If I nullify an opponent's card, do they get the power if they double the character with Alessandro Volta, if I nullify an opponent's card, do they get the power if they double the character? No. They'd be basically doubling a dead card, which is what Luke had asked me about so long ago. No, Joshua asked me so long ago. So no, you don't get to, if you nullify the opponent's card and you double it, you doubled a nullified card. So, number 11. If I play Charles Babbage, then interrupt Night Witches, can I interrupt play Emmy Noether to gain at most 16,000 morale, because the Night Witches at most had 42 women crew? No. Good thinking. But as I've always said, if you have a card that's shows females, so like the Amazonian warriors, or because it could be hundreds, or any one of the other ones, the camp followers or such, you get 1 point for it. So like the you get 100 morale for every woman. Well, if you have 2 armies of women, then you get 1 for each. If you have King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, you still get 1 because of the one woman that's dedicated to that card. So per card, how many did you get? So no, you don't get 16,000 points. You get, if it's 100 times, then you get 100 points. If it's 200 times, then you get 200 points for that one card. So, Simeon, holy cow, that was a lot of questions. I like your combos. These seem to really work out great. But to your question on number 7, it's not the third round. It'd be like the 4th or 5th. So if I'm trying to think of what card would allow me to win on the third round, I was actually thinking of what card can I play on the third round to actually win. Well, you'd be winning on the 4th round. So you'd have to clarify that a little bit more. And can you think of a way in which each player can tie an infinite morale? So technically, no, because it would never happen. It could never happen that they'd all have the exact same time, the exact same cards. But I think your logic is fairly theoretically sound. It looks good. I really like your the cards that you gave. So you already have what do I call it? A honorable mention and a gift on your way. So I'm going to just say that we're going to keep that in your honorable mentions. So not a stump, because both of those I had qualms with them. But at the same time, you're getting closer to stumping me. I can feel it. I can feel it very well. Bethany has also gotten to that point where she almost stumped me. And so did Forrest. So that's why I gave the honorable mentions. So this is a really long video. I'm sorry to keep you for so long. It was just a lot to work through in my brain. Again, I don't read these beforehand, so sometimes it takes a while. Didn't look like it would take that long, but it did, because there's a lot to think about. So keep thinking about these questions. Keep asking them, and we will keep answering. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you next time. Take care. Bye. If you have any comments or questions, add them to the comments below. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow, actually. Take care. Bye.